Good morning, everyone. And I'd like to talk to you about how I handle my plants when I take them home from the nursery. And the first thing that I do before I take it home, I make sure that I got the most out of my money. This is about $5, and make sure that I have the most plants in one pot. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this actually is about 70 cents each. So I got a good deal. And then this one right here has 1, 2, 3 individual plants in it, but they're all clumped together. They've probably been here in this pot so long that they multiplied. And then another one is this wonderful Senecio, and it has the main stalk, and then it had the baby, and then here it has another one. So for $2.99 I got one each of these for $1. I just want to give a heads up though. I'm outside and I have neighbors around me. I don't have any kids, so if you hear kids or chickens whatever, please forgive me. Anyway, so this is what happens when I first take them home. The first thing I do is, before I take them home, even at the store, at the nursery, I check for mealybugs, and I make sure that my plant is very healthy. This one has some weeds in it. I'm taking out all of the dead leaves from this plant from underneath, because I do not want that in my new pot. So I'm taking out all of this. And I'm still checking for mealybugs. See, sometimes you get extra stuff. This is from a different plant, and now you have something to propagate, and I don't even know what plant that is, but I will propagate that. Set that aside. Taking out all of these. Oh, my perfect tool for this task is my trusty old forceps. Forceps are awesome because perfect tool, because I have control over how to pick up stuff. Instead of a tweezer where I can't see, this has a long handle, and I will put a link on the bottom of this video, and you can just check it out later on. So now I have this. Make sure I'm going to put gloves on, because I don't know what kind of fertilizers or any chemicals that they had put in this plant. And sometimes I see that my hands get really dry, and sometimes I get bumps and stuff, so I don't know. I'm not going to take a chance. So I'm putting on my gloves just to protect my hands from any chemicals. The pot, and I'm checking in there to make sure, because I can still reuse this inside the new pot. So I'm going to separate each plant out. So I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants. Then I have this one that just fell out, and if it falls out, it means that it has a good cut. So I'm setting that aside. So now I have this Echeveria hamsai. Okay, so you want to get rid of all the soil that came with it, because you don't really know how they treated this soil. But I saved the soil just because I can put that in bigger pots and fortify it with fertilizer or whatever other things I do. So this is fine. You can even wash this if you want to make sure, especially when there's disease and stuff, you want to wash it all off and start fresh, because a fresh soil will give it a fresh start. You can also write down like the day that you repotted it so that you can keep track of the weekly waterings. So here I have a pot, cute little piggy. So I have my soil well draining, and you can get the cactus mix, and then I just fill it up. I actually put all this extra soil in a separate bucket because I'm gonna fortify it later on. So I just have my trusty old paintbrush, dig a little bit, stick it in there, and then take my scooper. I love this scooper because when you scoop, the soil ends up in a contained bottom there, and you have control over how much soil you put in the side here. So I'm just gonna lift it up where I want it, and then I'm going to dump the soil around it. Get up, shake it, push it down. And stamp it a little bit just to pack it all around the plant. Then I take some more. So the rule of thumb here is to have a pot that's one size bigger than the old pot, because you want room to grow. If it's too big, the water usually doesn't get to the roots, or it dries up so fast because it drains too fast. But if it's contained in a pot that it fits, then it will feed it until it's gotten enough water. Then I take my brush. Here's my brush. Make sure your brush is treated with alcohol too, because especially when there's a plant that you just handled that has a little bit of disease in it, it might stick to your brush. So, but I haven't had one yet, so I trust that my brush is pretty sterile. Okay, now we want to pick a decorative rocks, and I have these rocks right here. That I got from the dollar store. And first thing I do is when I take them home, I wash it. Make sure that there's no residuals from when they manufactured the rocks, so it doesn't get on my plants, because I don't trust it. But I can take my little scooper. I also have a link on the bottom for this. Just a little bit more. And I'm gonna push the leaves up so it doesn't, because this is the type of leaves that has the hairs, and sometimes it gets stuck. And then I just take the bottom of my paintbrush and tap around it and just distribute all that wonderful soil. Okay, time for some rocks. So I'm just going to take away the rocks from the actual plant and make sure that it's got enough room to grow. And that's it. That's all you do. Also make sure that this is a new pot, and so you want to make sure that your new pot is clean. If you're using an old pot, make sure that you wash it with soap and water and dry it and make sure that it's really clean. And I would also have a tiny little label that I'm gonna put on my plant so that I know what type of plant it is and when the last I watered it, because I'm going to water it today. Today is Saturday. I'm going to water this so I know when to water it again. So I will write down the name on my label, and it's called Echeveria Hamsai. Echeveria Hamsai on Saturday. Then I'm gonna take, you can either stick it on the pot itself or you can do a flag just like I do. So here's toothpick. The pattern again. Then I'm gonna wrap this label around my toothpick. So there it says Echeveria Hamsai Saturday, and I'm just going to stick it in here, and there you go. I'll have a picture later. And you clean it up, and you have a cute little plant. And if you want to, you could sell the rest of your plants. You can sell it for $2, make money, and then you got the plant for free.